Hi, this is Naresh Rao, Product Manager for Autonomous Network Operations at Google Cloud. Last week, we launched our Autonomous Network Operations Framework. So we are going to talk about Radio Access Network Agent Google Engineering has built, which will be a quick starter for telecom network operators to work on their radio access networks. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit on the framework architecture. If you see on the left-hand side, you will ingest all the network telemetries and then you build a data pipeline, eventually store the data into BigQuery and build network insights. There are two important building blocks here. So one is the network digital twin, another one is an agentic framework. So we are going to jump into the agentic framework. So let's jump into our demonstrations that what we have, what we call is a cell network analyzer. So this UI that you see is just an illustrative purpose only, but the holistic aspect that we would want to demonstrate today is the agents that what we have built today, which will be a day in and out for typical telco journey. For instance, if you see, we have built three agents here. So one is the radio access network agent, which is built by Google Engineering, and there are two more agents built by our partner, future connections. So the overall point of view here is telcos can build their own agents depending upon their needs, depending upon their use case. But what is more important is to understand is Google has built a proof of value agent. The reason why we call proof of value agent is that it becomes like a quick starter for telco operators where they can push all the radio access network telemetry and then you can see how it can identify all the anomalies. So if you see the left-hand side of the UI, it's pretty much it's kind of a day-to-day operations for a NOC engineer. Like he's looking into these big screens, lot of reds, lot of greens, lot of yellows. Like basically, it becomes really his own operational view. It becomes his own intelligence to decide which of the cell sites that he needs to look into to identify issues. But now, fast forward, so now he can actually interact with an agent to understand where does he wants to really understand what the network is doing and where does he need to really focus today. Like those are the kind of an areas that we are trying to do. And now the agent interaction looks like a chatbot today, but that's not the real intent. In a typical telecom environment, so they can integrate the output of these agents, anything to the downstream or an upstream system, depending upon their own use cases. For instance, I can simply go to the agent and I can say, show me anomalies in the network. So basically what this agent does, it automatically picks up all the information. It automatically tells, okay, what it sees from all the different cell sites, and it calculates all the KPIs that it comes through. And now if you see, it actually tries to summarize like what will be the best results that actually a NOC engineer has to look into. Now, if you see some of the results that it actually comes up, like basically it shows, and the agent is smart enough to make a decision like what are the key KPIs it needs to look into and what these KPIs will actually provide the right input for the user. Now, if you see the overall summary, it says that it appears that the cell site 600 experiencing recurring periods of poor performance. So maybe that's the area that you need to start looking into the output. Now, further on, if you see, it will go into the details of every KPIs and it also identifies every cell sites, like what it actually sees in the network. Currently, we only have a kind of a more like a synthetic data for like almost like we mocked for a month, but in a realistic environment, it becomes an acceleration process to do fast incident identification for telecom operators, like especially for NOC engineers to look into the network. So currently, it all looks like a very reactive, but you can already see that you can extend this agent to do more like a predictive analytics as well, and also you can do the self-healing agent. Likewise, you can continue to debug more information on particular cell site. I can say, show me call drops in cell 472. So now what it does is the agent will interact to the RAN agent, and basically it builds the KPIs. It automatically identifies like what are the kind of call drops that it has seen and what are the reasons the call drops that you're seeing. And then eventually it will also do some sort of a healing as well. So basically the remediation agent can go and do a service ticket, or like if it understands like what are the KPIs that it needs to change, it can actually go and change in the network. For instance, if we know there is a congestion happening at particular cell site, and there are a couple of subscribers who are doing more like a downloading a big BitTorrent files, or it could be watching some streaming videos, or doing some kind of a gaming game streaming. So basically, operators can actually send a configuration to throttle that particular user. So that will be the more of an interactive mode, that where you can actually go and look into a different way of operations. So this gives an overall idea of how operators can leverage agents today and then eventually change their paradigm of the regular network operations. So one of the important aspect of it is Google engineering has invested and built an agent which is applicable for RAN today, but that shouldn't stop you using these agents for any performance counters that you see from coming from the network. It could be for RAN, it could be for phone. Thank you very much.